So this question comes up a lot. YAML versus JSON for agents. What is better? What is easier for them to parse and interpret and understand and operate on? Well, I ran an experiment to validate which is better. And what I found is that ultimately, it seems like no matter which model you use, things are, for the most part, comparable. You'll see here that no matter sort of which model I use lighter ones like Flash or more complex, powerful ones like Opus or Gemini. And I found that the pass rate was roughly about the same. So the interesting thing, I think, is that, just use whatever format works for you. But I also wanted to talk through kind of how I got to these results. So what you're seeing here is a directory called YAML versus JSON parsing. And within there, I have a couple scenarios that I've written up. One is an open API written in JSON, and one is written in YAML. So these are very comparable examples. And then to sort of author the test cases themselves, I followed this structure called evals. So evals are commonly used for skills, but they can also be used for anything an agent would produce as well. It's a JSON format that includes a prompt that you would want to pass in, and then effectively kind of what you expect to see the output to be. So in our examples here, we do everything from go ahead and modify a reference from one place to the other. We transform one of the values within an actual reference. We also do sort of major schema translations and transformations and add fields and so on. And you end up with, sort of some lighter, simpler modifications that we want to make, as well as some more complex ones. And those are all summarized in this README as well. With that, we can combine that with this amazing toolkit from Claude, rather Anthropic, called the Skill Creator. So Skill Creator, which I've inlined into this repository, but it's in the Anthropic Skills repository, actually has everything you need to run these evals. It's normally meant to be a skill specifically to create other skills, but to validate and improve them, it contains this whole workflow on things like creating a separate directory, copying contents around to go run the eval that you're looking for, basically capturing those results, creating a grader script, having different personas like a grader agent and an analyzer agent to execute that. And so I found that applying this to my own experiments gives some amazing results and gives some amazing qualitative feedback that we can independently review and validate, and ultimately comes up with some pretty detailed output about not just the model, but also the types of evaluations that were run, as well as the grade for every single one. So what I've done here is I've opened up the cursor agent, and I'm just going to type in the usage of the skill creator skill, pass in the directory that has that YAML versus JSON eval, and basically go ahead and please start executing it. What the skill creator does under the hood is it will effectively spawn multiple sub agents where it executes that prompt and then runs a grader agent that looks at the output and gives the grade between 1 to 10. And from there, it gives some information about sort of why it gave that grade, and sometimes some suggestions on what could be improved in the prompt or some insights about the actual model. Here I'm using the Opus 4.6 model, one of the most recent ones that came out, because I found that generally is able to perform the experiment the best and also come up with some of the best output as well in its grading. So you'll see here, this is the final result, and it's able to give some sense of all of the various evals it's run. There's a grader. It tells you what it's done well. And at the end of the day, I just ask it to write that output back out to the README. Offline, I validated the output and kind of verified that this is correct, like the agent has achieved sort of like the right conclusion based on what it's seen to look at those results. But for the most part, it's been pretty reliable. All right, so what are the takeaways? Well, these experiments have shown that JSON and YAML are mostly comparable. I think there's a little bit of variance per model, but honestly, I don't think it's significant enough that you should make major design decisions around your architecture to err towards one or the other, specifically for a model's case. I think long term, it seems like most models are trending towards this becoming just a non-issue to worry about. So just use whatever format works best for you. But the big insight for me running this experiment is really this powerful concept of an eval loop and the skill creator skill. It's amazing to be able to take this anecdote and convert it into data that we can actually look at, evaluate together, and confirm a lot of these types of assumptions. So I'll probably make an expanded video on that in the future. Thanks for watching.